Welcome to another episode of Schultes Strong. I'm Sam Schultes, and today we're going to talk about two supplements pretty common in the supplement world. You may or may not have taken them. I'm going to tell you what I know about them and my personal experience with them. Brushing up on this episode, I learned some interesting things. So I will throw myself under the bus while talking about these, tell you about my own personal experiences, and we will go from there.
All right. Right now we have L-tyrosine.
N-acetyl tyrosine, otherwise known as NAT. So in brushing up for this, why you would want to take this, tyrosine is a precursor for adrenaline, epinephrine and adrenaline, same thing, and norepinephrine. It's a slightly different version of adrenaline. And then dopamine specifically. Also, your thyroid hormones need tyrosine to make thyroid hormones. So when I was doing my research for this, so this is a very reputable company, Yarrow Formulas, I was reading about the difference between N-acetyl tyrosine and L-tyrosine. L-tyrosine actually increases blood levels of tyrosine, which is what you want. And it's much cheaper than this product. This product is more soluble in water. However, it doesn't have the same conversion rate to L-tyrosine. So about 35% of this comes out in your urine, which I just learned today. The other thing about it is in your L-tyrosine, when you get it in the store or online or whatever, it's usually in 500 milligrams dose. This is only in 350, and it's more expensive. So I learned that the reason supplement companies switch to this in pre-workout formulas is that it's more water soluble. However, there aren't enough studies that prove that it's any more effective than just regular cheap L-tyrosine. So that being said, why would you want to supplement with either L-tyrosine or N-acetyl L-tyrosine? And it's because it is a non-stimulant stimulant. Basically, you're providing your body with the raw material it needs to make your natural stimulants, right? So dopamine is a stimulant, adrenaline, stimulant. However, you're not stimulating the central nervous system. So there's no attenuation. What does that mean? So like with caffeine, over time as you take caffeine, the effects wear off because your body gets used to the caffeine and it upregulates the enzymes that lower the effectiveness or block or blunt the caffeine, and it upregulates the enzymes that process the caffeine. So over time, you require more caffeine to get the same buzz. When you're giving your body a substrate, you don't need to worry about attenuation because you're providing yourself with the raw material. However, there is a psychological attenuation to consider, and that is that you get used to taking something, your brain, you feel it, and then over time, that feeling isn't as much there. So reasons that I personally have taken L-tyrosine over the years is one, to boost my focus during workouts. Does it work? Yes, it absolutely does. My most effective dose is about 3,000 milligrams or 3 grams of L-tyrosine on an empty stomach before a workout, and you don't necessarily need anything else. It's superior to caffeine in the sense that you could take it in the evening, have your workout, and because your CNS is not stimulated, you can go to bed on it. The other thing is if you're coming off caffeine and you want to give your body something that is not a central nervous system stimulant and yet have the wakefulness of caffeine, then you can, as you taper your dose of caffeine And really important, by the way, you guys, if you're new to the channel, by the way, hit the like and subscribe button. Give us 3 thumbs up, and that'll be a new t-shirt coming, be released soon. So if you're going to quit caffeine, don't quit cold turkey. Taper your dose. Know what your dose is. And I've got a product coming out soon called Caffeine Free in 10 Days. So look for that product. It'll be a nice punch card where the dose drops down. But once you have a standardized dose of caffeine and you start to decrease the milligrams of caffeine to eventually wean yourself off, you can use a product like tyrosine or N-acetyl, which I'm not going to waste my money on this anymore. I'll just tell you that truthfully. I just looked at some really new cutting edge research where they took all these different versions of tyrosine, literally injected it into people, and then looked at the blood tyrosine levels. And guess what one was the best? Good old cheap L-tyrosine. So don't waste your money, get the cheap stuff. But to go back to what I was saying about coming off the caffeine is you still want that kind of caffeine-like performance edge. So this is the best way that I've found to do it. And sometimes I combine it with another supplement. So here's our second supplement we're going to talk about today.
Our second supplement is acetyl L-carnitine.
Okay, acetyl L-carnitine, more bioavailable form of L-carnitine. Okay, so L-carnitine is made in the body. What it does is it helps to use fatty acids as a mitochondrial fuel source, right? And that happens in the brain, in muscle tissue, musculoskeletal tissue, primarily like these muscles, but also in the heart. And there's something called ischemia, cardiac ischemia. And one of the things that happens is the heart loses the ability to burn fatty acids as a fuel source. And when that happens, bad things happen. The heart can't breathe, right? So why do we use it in the workout world? In the workout world, using fatty acids as a fuel source is optimal for endurance, right? So like if you're trying to squeeze out more reps, or you're an endurance athlete, could be cross-country skier, runner, cyclist, or whatever, taking acetyl L-carnitine prior to a workout will give you more endurance. It also increases, and this could be a negative side effect to think about, thermogenesis, right? So if you're in a hot climate, taking acetyl L-carnitine or L-carnitine prior to a workout may not be recommended because it is going to increase your body temperature. But if you're in a cool climate, you can take it. It's also nootropic, and what a nootropic is a drug that enhances cognitive performance. So acetyl L-carnitine crosses the blood-brain barrier, and in the brain, it helps provide brain cells with fatty acids. So where is this beneficial? Actually, specifically the mitochondria of brain cells with fatty acids. And it's literally carries fatty acids into the mitochondria. So if you're on a ketogenic diet, or you're trying to, say, avoid eating in the morning and you want to stay fasted, right? So that, say, your first meal is at lunch, and then your second meal is at dinner, and then you're done. Or maybe you're doing one meal a day, but yet you want that, cognitive boost in the morning. You can combine L-tyrosine and acetyl L-carnitine, take them together, and it's now a 1-2 punch. So you've got something that's increasing adrenaline, increasing dopamine, increasing thyroid output, and then you have something else that basically takes your fatty acids, shuttles it to the mitochondria, so now you're burning fatty acids as a fuel source. So it's a good idea, and currently I'm taking both of these. Okay, I take 700 milligrams of this in the morning, but once this bottle is done, I'm switching back to good old L-tyrosine, and I'm taking 1,000 milligrams of this in the morning. Do I feel it? Yes. Does it allow me to drink less coffee? Yes. Do I still drink too much coffee? Yes. It's just, I love coffee. And we'll do a whole thing too on coffee and tea, coffee versus tea, health benefit wise. Spoiler alert, tea is better for you than coffee, but there's something that's even better than that. And we'll save that for another video. Things to consider, like side effects and elsewise. So, acetyl L-carnitine will keep you awake. Tyrosine, not as much. But if you take this later in the day, it can, because of the neurostimulating effects, make it hard to sleep at night. It does increase your thoughts. So if you're a person who has like nighttime anxiety and you can't sleep because you're thinking of too many things in bed, this is not a good supplement for you to take in the evening. You'll want to take your dose in the morning and then be done. I would have to look up what the half-life is of this, and I'll really quickly talk about what half-life is. So half-life is when a compound is, from the dose you take, is half in your system, right? So I've recognized in my system, my client system, that the effects of this can be felt for between 8 to 12 hours. Whatever your experience is, if you've taken it, let me know in the comment section down below. And if you've tried this combination of N-acetyl L-tyrosine or L-tyrosine and acetyl L-carnitine, let me know your experiences. Remember, if you're tuning in for the first time, hit the like and subscribe button. Give our algorithm a favorable fighting chance. And tune in for more supplement reviews. Once again, I am Sam Schultes, and this is Schultes Strong. We love you, and we'll see you next time.